Hey everybody, it's Lorelia coming to you with a video today. I want to talk about secure credit cards and rebuilding your credit and getting business funding or business credit. Want to continue the conversation that I was having the other day. I was talking about tier one credit cards versus tier four credit cards, and during that video and discussion, I was talking about how really tier four credit cards are really hurting you because pretty much what happens is that when a person, and I know a lot of people are going to, okay, sorry. Okay, let me, I got everything going. Yeah. So I was talking about how tier four credit cards are really hurting you because what happens is that many of you all, you go get your credit repaired. The credit professional gives you what you want. Da da. You got a 700 credit score, and then they've also had you to believe that, oh, with your 700 credit plus credit score, you are now in the position to get anything your heart desires. And so the biggest mistake that many people have is that they go start going applying for all these top tier cards, Amexes, and then they're trying to get business credit, and they're trying to say, I have my net 30 accounts, I have a 700 credit score, and a windfall of money is just going to fall on me. So I want my $250,000. Where is it? And unfortunately, they sold you a bag of goods. And so many people talk about how to use secure cards. I know it's a topic that has been talked about a lot, but a lot of people don't give you the strategy behind it. So I'm going to give you something that you can really implement, especially in this economic environment that we're in now. People are getting their economic stimulus, checks, and don't believe the hype. Do not believe that based on your circle, because depending on your circle, there are people who truly believe that there is going to be an economic collapse. And so they are not doing anything economically and financially to help themselves. I want to share some game with you. Last night, I watched a YouTube live or a private Zoom meeting. I think they put it on YouTube. I'm not sure. Of some of the hard money lenders who are in my market right here in New Jersey, but they do lend to other states. And they talked about, are they lending? So don't believe the hype. There are a lot of people who say real estate has slowed down, ain't nothing going on with real estate. And the only people that they're telling that to are those who can't be part of the game. So what happens is that you're going to have a whole group of people who are going to sit out. Hey, how you doing? Who are going to sit out. They're not going to do anything, and they're going to watch wealth and financial prosperity pass them by because in their immediate circle, they think nothing is going on. So going back to what I said, you had lenders here right in my market who say, we lending. Like ain't nothing stopped. The only thing they said they're not doing is new construction. But other than that, they're doing fix and flips. They're doing, they talked about other type of products that they may have that's not hard money, but non-qualified money. If you don't know what that is, I talked about in another video, how people can get access to that and be able to get into buy and holds and rentals. So I say all that to say, this is not the time to contract financially. This is not the time to contract in terms of your credit. So be very careful of the circle that you are around that really wants, that may be that they're talking about an economic collapse is on the horizon. I'm not no Nostradamus. Are some people going to be hurt financially? Yes. But are some people going to financially prosper? You best to believe. You have to decide what part of the tracks you want to be on. With that being said, the reason why I did this video, because also this week, the great thing about this pandemic is that everything is online. Things that you actually physically would have had to drive to or go, to a conference. You literally can just turn on your smartphone or your laptop and watch a lot of this. Another great seminar that I attended this week is, once again, is FICO. Now, many people who are in the credit world, they're just getting their information from other credit professionals. And people want to believe that there is one credit god who knows everything, and that if you're not getting the information from that person, then everything is not real. And if you want to say a person is a credit god, and I hate using the word God, but if you want to give somebody, if you want to put someone on the pedestal when it comes to credit, when it comes to what is truth, take it from the words of FICO. I'm not even going to say take it from the words of the bureaus. Take it from the words of FICO, because at the end of the day, everything is driven by the FICO score. Don't believe the hype. People will have you to believe in the business credit space, the business funding space, that your personal credit does not matter. And it does. If you don't believe it, what will happen is you will be in the same place, chasing your tail, still wondering why you're not getting access to credit, because you were sold a bag of goods that you had to ignore it. So with that being said, I'm going to go back to the topic at hand, and that has to do with what I said about rebuilding your personal credit with secured credit cards. And I am going to pray that my screen is showing, and it is great. So the other day, I talked about tier 1 versus tier 4 credit cards. I explained to you that many people are stuck in the tier 4 space. You went to a credit professional who told you, hey, now that you've gotten your credit repair, let's begin to rebuild your credit. And what they got you stuck in is in the world of tier 4. And tier 4 is your Merrick Banks, your My Jewelers, your First Premier, your Credit One, your Open Sky. Because they've sold you a bag of goods, you have to rebuild your credit. There's nothing wrong with that. You do have to begin to establish a relationship with lenders again. But unfortunately, tier 1 lenders don't respect tier 4 lenders. What do I mean by that? You get no grace, you get no credit for having a $300 and $500 credit line, and think that you are going to now go into the business credit space and now request a $20,000 or $50,000 credit line. Let me explain to you the reason why. At the end of the day, you may not believe this, but building credit, whether it's personal or business, is all about you building a relationship. How do you begin a relationship? Is based on your financial behaviors. How can lenders trust you with 25, 55, 50, 75? The list goes on and on and on in terms of funding on your business side, when they don't even see a pattern of that behavior with your personal side. I'm here to tell you, there's no lender who's going to give you $25,000 and the only thing you have are tier 4 credit cards. That's why it's almost laughable when I talk to people and they're really thinking that this exists, and it doesn't. Anyone who sold you that bag of goods, you have to go back to them and hold them accountable. Well, I was told that I can get business credit up to this amount. Why can't I do it? So what I try to tell people is that, once again, with me, you're getting the best of both worlds. Are there people that I have truly helped? I've showed you pre-qualifications here on this channel of those who have gotten approved for stuff and who have gotten access to the money. But understand that their financial situation may be different than yours. It's all about being qualified. If you don't have the financial behaviors in the past to support the amount of money that you're trying to get, unfortunately, you're not going to get the money. So let's start talking about what I said I was going to talk about, and that is about secure cards. So these are the top banks in the country. It's only four: Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, BOA. I'm no affiliate. I don't get any sponsorship deals for talking about them. It's just that you need to understand the economic space that you're trying to go into in terms of being able to get access to money. Because this is what I know for certain. Nobody, no lender is giving no consumer the game. What happens is, and time again, there's people out there, they try to pursue getting credit on themselves. They get a denial letter. Legally, the lender has to tell you anything. So they default on, oh, it's your credit. And if you're fortunate enough to talk to them, they may give you another blase story. What happens is that many of us who scared of the man won't really challenge the man, don't really know what it is that they want. So then they come to someone like me and they want me to decipher what it is that the man told you. And I am going to share it to you logically, just so you can just try to figure out how this works, because there's truly a blueprint to this. Like it's not a magic trick. A lot of people want to believe that. Anyone who believes that there's a magic trick to something, you have given all your power to someone. And I'm saying, take your power back, learn the game so you can use it for yourself. So with that being said, these are the 4-tier cards that you could get. Most people know that. That's why once they get their credit rebuilt with their 700 credit score, they one little open sky card, they the $300 balance, they think they big shot and they can now go to Chase, Citi, Wells Fargo, and BOA and say, I want to apply for credit unsecured, meaning just look at my personal credit to give me a card. Bloop, not going to happen. You don't have no history. Remember, all that information got wiped off because you went to a credit professional. I'm not going to go into credit sweeps that took everything off your credit. So now you have no history. These are top cards. These are top tier cards. They're not going to give you any unsecured stuff. Now, are there, things to consider? Oh, somebody added me on their account. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you yourself trying to get access to tier 1 cards in a secured place, not unsecured, because that's what's happened. A lot of people try to go ahead and get unsecured cards and are unable to get them. So what do? Many people actually may bank with these top banks, depending on where you are in the country. You may bank with Wells Fargo, you may bank with BOA, you may bank with Chase, you may bank with Citi. Why in the world would you go to Merit Bank or Open Sky or Credit One to want to reestablish credit? Now, I am not going to go into all the features of these cards because based on some of these secure cards, there is things that they want you to have in place. They may want you to have a bank account as well as other things. So lean on the understanding that I'm giving you really a very surface level understanding. When you try this on your own, you may find out, oh, I got to get a bank account with them. Oh, well, it's all about relationships. I said that. You are building a relationship. If your true a purpose is to really be part of the system to get funding, to get credit, it's based on relationships. It's not based on what people selling you. Oh, just try that or try this trick and a windfall or something's gonna fall in your lap. I'm not selling you that bag of goods. I'm selling you on you understanding how this game is played. Understand this is a relationship-based business, and you want to build relationships with these top 4 banks. Decide on which ones you want to go with. Is it possible they may say you need to have a bank account there? It may be. So you lean on the side of caution to figure out what's best for you. So now that you know that these are the secure cards, you know you can't get it unsecured, then what's next? Now I'm going to talk about the economic stimulus. looks like froze for a second. I'm going to talk about the economic stimulus, and I'm going to talk about how you could flip it. Many of you all have gotten your money from your current president. And if you notice my screen, it says leverage your economic stimulus. If you know right now you are in the tier 4 low card space, but you want to go to the tier 1 cards, this is the best way to do it. Take that $1,200 check and flip it. Find out what's required from them banks to open a secured account. Like I said, you may have to open a bank account, but whatever the case is, find out what is their minimum for you to be able to to get a secured credit card. Things you want to, ask are, if I was to keep this unsecured account, at what point can it convert to a secured card? Also, you want to know, is there a certain amount of money I need to put in it, but for me to create the secured account? Also, you may want to ask, what's the one more thing that I said? Do you need to have a bank account? Once you've really found out those, the answers to those questions, you can go ahead and proceed to be able to have those tier 1 cards. Because the biggest takeaway that you can get from this is that use your $1,200 economic stimulus for something good. What's not going to happen is that you're not going to magically get $20,000, $30,000 in business credit and business funding and do nothing to your personal cards. I notice people selling you on trade lines, and I get it. I've had people who came to me, Lorelia, I remember, we had we talked. People don't like what I say. It sounds too long. It sounds like it takes a lot of work. And then they go to somebody who's got a quicker strategy, an easier strategy, especially with them trade lines, and they end up getting egg on their face. Trade lines is not a long-term game. It's just not. A lot of people think that what they're going to do with the trade lines is that they're going to get the trade line to be able to get a better car. I mean, my thing is this, cheating and fraud has been around since the beginning of time. It ain't nothing new. And if that's the strategy you want to put in place, you're always going to be behind the 8 ball. Because what I teach people is how to create a relationship, because you creating a relationship with these lenders will allow you to get more and more money. And yes, it is based on that relationship is monitored by how well you manage money. How well you manage money. I know you don't like it. So here, not only in this video did I tell you how to rebuild your credit with secure cards, not those tier 4 cards that everyone is pretty much regurgitating all over the internet. And then number 2, how you could flip your economic stimulus check. So instead of going out to get a hot bag or go shopping or what have you, and if you really don't need it for survival, you want to be able to reinvest it, this is the best way to do it. And not only are you getting the best of both worlds, getting your secure cards because you want to be in a secure card space, and then you also are now getting away from the tier 4 space. And as you build this relationship over time, now you have some room to be able to now discuss some things. It's just how it goes, Like I said, I'm just here to share with you what I know no lender is going to tell you. That's why they give you the blase story. They give you a very surface story. Then you want to come to me and you want to, ask me to help you decipher it. So once again, I know this has been helpful. I just got a phone call, so I'm going to go. If this has been helpful, you want to proceed with a 15-minute business funding strategy. What I suggest you do is go to bizcredit.yourmoneymentor.com. Understand most people may not even qualify to work with me. But let's have a conversation. Let's talk. I'm not into no tricks. I'm not doing no fraud. I'm not telling you to falsify this. There's enough information out there in this marketplace. A lot of people are discussing that, talking about it, selling you on trade lines. I'm not here. I totally believe, slow and steady wins the race. And I know that with the age of AI and tracking your behavior, there's no human that's smarter than AI. So once again, this is Lorelia, and I am signing off.